I'd like to share the next trend, which is that, you know, uh, training programs, which traditionally and in the past have been generally handled through the ILT medium, the physical classroom, and which were considered effective and possible only in that particular delivery format, are now moving online. So, this is a trend that we see happening across various kinds of training. And some of these popular training types, which you also have actually shared in chat, are onboarding, technical training, and leadership training. So, onboarding, again, we can't afford to put this on hold for any amount of time, because once you have new employees on board, it's so critical that we engage them right away, and that they have a very warm and welcoming experience with the organization, and they get a clear picture of the organization's vision, mission, and so on. So onboarding really is something we cannot delay. And I think a lot of us, when this whole peculiar pandemic situation started, we found that, we had to overnight start coming up with solutions on how we could still manage to onboard our remote new employees who we never met face to face. So this is one training type which successfully was moved online. Technical training, again, I think a lot of you mentioned that there are some areas where you really have no substitute for hands-on kind of training. Uh, now, over our past 20 years of experience in this e-learning domain, we found that technical training, the foundational knowledge, the conceptual knowledge, and so on, could be very effectively set in place through e-learning. And when it came to the demo part of it, the hands-on part of it, then we also found that videos were of course being used, but we integrated a lot of videos into our e-learning courses to make them as close to the real classroom environment as possible. And now with virtual ILTs, we found that we could take it up one notch higher and actually have trainers demo a product in the session, in the live session, and so on. So we found that a lot of technical training was being successfully moved online, especially in the recent past, and including those bits which we felt, which we used to think could never possibly move online. And I'll share a couple of roadmaps with you shortly for each of these. Leadership training is another big area. I think most of us were used to the idea of leadership training being done on site, off site, I'm sorry, at some location where you get your executive teams together, where you cut them off from the rest of uh, the world, and they get to really learn and so on. Now, given that we cannot delay leadership training, we cannot delay training our senior management and so on. This again is something that has moved online, and it has worked. It has worked successfully. So that was a pleasant surprise actually to most of us, because somehow you tend to be a little skeptical when it comes to behavioral training and soft skills, and a lot of you mentioned empathy and those kind of skills where you somehow feel it's more effective if you just meet in a physical classroom and so on. But I'd like to share the roadmaps that we had put together, so that maybe you can get going with any of those which you have temporarily put on hold for whatever reason. And one thing I needed to mention here is that with so much of these popular training types moving online, we also saw an increasing need, a corresponding increasing need for translations, because earlier, you had, in the case of classroom ILTs, physical ILTs, you had different facilitators train in the language of their audience. their participants, I'm sorry. But now, with e-learning also being increasingly used, the need for translations really kind of exploded. So this is another top trend that we see, that a lot of classroom intensive training programs are now really moving online.